I love Buffalo Trace. Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, Will? Did you know we were live? I didn't know.
Of course, I knew we were live. I knew it the whole time.
I didn't know we were live. I
knew it the whole time.
Hey, guys, you caught me by surprise. You know, when I'm sipping some Buffalo Trace, and I know, Will, you probably know, you just kind of, you're locked in that moment. You forget everything around you. You know, you're just Buffalo Trace. It's just an escape from reality. And it tastes so good. So good.
The lips. I unfortunately am not hitting the Buffalo Trace. I'm rocking this self-made Hefeweizen here.
Yeah, I mean, Oktoberfest is right around the corner.
Yeah,
you know?
with this mug that was acquired from a certain brewery out there. It just happened to make its way into my... It says, Alamo.
Oh, Alamo.
Is that how you pronounce that? Alamo?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it backwards on your camera.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, we call it Omala when you see it backwards.
Omalo.
Guys, hey, Jamie, edit that out, please. Hey, guys, we're going to reset, draw this back. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As you know, your presence is always appreciated here. By clicking here and being part of the team, we appreciate the support. And also, if you haven't already, team, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because apparently that does really good things for the algorithm on YouTube. And the support is always appreciated by Will and I, you know. And we're not going to waste too much of your time. So thanks for tuning in for another episode. You guys already know who this handsome guy is. I don't need to introduce him. All right. If you don't know who he is, go back other episodes. There's a bunch of intros this guy has. All right. But you already know. And we got a lot to talk about today, you know. So we're not going to waste too much of your time. So, Will,
bro,
how you been first, man? How you been? First of all, cheers, dude. Cheers. Hey, it's been a week. Okay.
Dilly.
It's been a
week.
What
is it? It's like fucking Tuesday. It's been a week.
It's Tuesday and it's been a week.
Yeah. It hit week status on Monday.
Yeah, man. I remember last episode we went from exploding pagers to exploding walkie-talkies.
Yeah. To
you know,
exploding terrorists.
Random packages from Acme delivery company being delivered.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I mean, it's been insane, you know. But I just want to know how you're doing, man. That's the best. I noticed you got a fancy little decor there in the back behind you there.
Yeah. So, you know, we've got our newest addition to the wall here. The most beautiful addition to the wall here. So look at that. Handcrafted, man. American flag. Painted American flag. We've got our logo in the corner. A little comfort and chaos action.
Ooh.
Absolutely beautiful. And if you, friends, would like to get your hands on something as awesome as that, head on over to the link that just popped on the ticker.
Jamie, pull up the ticker, please, down below.
It is pulled up. And then check the link down. We'll pin it down below.
It'll also be in the description, guys. All the link will be in the description.
Mr. Jeremiah Treadway, amazing soldier.
Shout out to you. Member. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Absolutely beautiful work. This is not the first one I've gotten from him. Absolutely amazing. Go over there and support that man. If you use that coupon code, where is my discount? Where is my goddamn discount?
I mean, that's a perfect code. How are you guys not going to remember that? That's absolutely a perfect code right there.
You will get 10% off of a purchase of your very own American flag. He does all custom work. You don't have to have that logo if you want that logo.
Hey, mine's coming, team. Mine's coming. Next episode.
If you really want that logo, you can hit us up. You know, we'll work a sharing agreement. But you can get it, whatever it is that you want in there. Go check him out. Absolutely awesome. That is handcraftedveteran.etsy.com. Coupon code, where is my discount?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Go out there, support your veterans, team. Support your veterans. So, Will, what's going on in the Middle East, man? What's going on?
Every time you mention it, I can't
sleep at night.
I start giggling. So, right, like the Israelis, as we discussed in our last episode, blew up a lot of dicks, blew up a lot of by planting explosives in Hezbollah pagers. So they were getting their pages.
Yeah.
All their dicks blew off. Real bad for them. So what did they do? They were like, "Fuck, man, we still got to talk. We've ditched the cell phones because they can track that shit. Let's go to pagers." That didn't fucking work out so well. Hey, you know what? We'll use the walkie-talkies. Bust out those walkie-talkies. We didn't get them from that same fucking guy we got the pagers from, right? No. Boom.
Oh,
fuck.
wait a minute.
Okay, that's out. Shit. Hey, how about we you know what? This is getting out insane. Let's just all meet up. We're all gonna meet up. We're all gonna friggin' talk this out and figure out how we're gonna retaliate.
Yeah.
All right, everybody over to Bob's house. So what do the Israelis do? They bomb the dog shit out of Bob's house as soon as they all get in there. They have been like there's one dude in Hezbollah like left like in their leadership just staring at a mirror, like it's him in the mirror, and that's about it.
Yeah, man. I did see like a video. There's a video floating around today where the dude was literally like recording like a telecast while he's getting airstriked. Like,
yeah. So when he did that, they were flying their aircraft over. They didn't know where he was at, but they weren't bombing. They were running sonic booms over. They were just trolling the dog shit out of him.
Yeah.
They were just doing sonic booms over the city just to fuck with them.
Oh my gosh.
And then I mean, they've hit hundreds and hundreds of targets, taking out God knows how many shitheads. So
it's clear to say that they're like on the offensive right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so Hezbollah tactics, they will pay your rent essentially if you'll store munitions for them. So there's a lot of there's a lot of rockets, missiles.
Would they pay mortgages?
In people's garages, essentially, right? Like if you'll store munitions like rockets, missiles, all kinds of shit, warheads.
Yeah.
If you'll store that in your home, they'll pay your mortgage for you. So what did the Israelis do? They basically sent out it was like 80,000 or something, like text messages, phone calls. They basically spammed all of Lebanon and was like, "Hey man, you want to get out of your house right now. Like if you have rockets in your house, you have missiles in your house, we know. And it's coming. The Scunnion's coming." And they have been dropping the
Scunnion.
And
I haven't heard Scunnion in a long time, man. I'm not gonna lie, that just stood out to me right there.
You like that?
Scunnion.
You like that?
I do. You like that?
You like that? But
comment down below if you know what quarterback's patting that phrase.
But Hezbollah keeps launching rockets. I mean, they launched another 100 or something yesterday, and the Israelis are just pounding the dog shit out of them. And they're again trying to push that line back. They've been being rocketed basically daily for over almost a year now, since right after that October 7th attack. Hezbollah immediately started rocketing northern Israel. And so there's a huge swath of northern Israel that's completely unoccupied at this point. People can't go back to their homes. And so now that the major large scale stuff against Hamas and the Gaza Strip's done, they've just turned their attention and been like, "You're next, motherfucker. Stop it." And they didn't stop it. So it's like, all right, now it's coming. Like our people deserve to be able to get back into their homes. And so the ass whooping madness is commenced, and it's not a bad day. Unfortunately, right? A lot of U.S. policymakers and Western allies seem kind of mum on it, despite the fact that they even whacked a guy we had a $7 million bounty on because he was involved in the 1983 embassy bombing in Lebanon. And we wanted him dead. Well, the Israelis killed him. We should just hand him a check, give him that check for $7 million, and let's call it a fucking day, bro.
Wow. So would that a bounty still be? So if they issued that bounty back in 1993?
No. To this day, the United States government had a $7 million bounty on this motherfucker's head. He was
really
a head, Lebanese Hezbollah fucking operative, and the Israelis killed him.
Where? Hey, are there any more bounties still posted?
I don't know. I'm sure there are, like, but I mean, this.
So you mean to tell me there are active bounty hunters out there right now internationally?
I don't know about that. I mean, we put a price on that dude's head that led to his, kill capture, just like we did on Bin Laden, right? Like, these dudes are real hard to get to. You don't throw up a $7 million bounty on a cat, because he's easy to get to. Otherwise, we would have gotten to him.
You know what's crazy, Will? I'm not gonna lie. I think, hey, Hollywood, if you're listening, that would be a pretty sick movie. I'm just saying, just a bounty killer, a movie about a bounty killer. Maybe, I don't know, Keanu Reeves plays him. Tom Hardy. Just an international.
John Wick.
Well, no. That's different. That's different. The John Wick, that's a whole storyline. And
you just threw Keanu Reeves as a international bounty hunter that murders people.
So not John Wick, then Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy. He's the guy. Tom Hardy's the guy. And we're talking just an international live for himself in some bunker in Colorado, and then just takes he just sees these contracts and he just goes out, does his thing with his 15 passports, and whatever he's got to do. And then
Tom Hardy's out of the game, son.
Damn it, man. Damn it. Okay. Who would you think? Who would you think would be a good candidate for that? If you were the producer of this, if you were the director, who would you want?
Oh man. I don't know. Idris Elba. Oh, Henry Cavill. He's my boo.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's my boo too. He's everyone's boo.
I'm not gay, but I do dirty things to that man. And
low key, did you know he's a gamer? Did you know he's a gamer?
Yeah, he's the coolest dude ever. Like, he's just a cool dude.
He legit is the coolest dude. He's
a super nerd. I love him.
He smokes meat. He loves to smoke meat. He's into smoking meat. And
you said that way too many times.
No, yeah. He smokes meat. Team. He smokes meat. Yeah, hey, ignore that ticker. Jamie, you're fired. Jamie, you're fired. Yeah, man. So the Middle East is going crazy. I don't know, Will. You tell me. I mean, what are your predictions on this? I want to know. You're very good with your analytics. What are your predictions on this?
I mean, we're continuing to push more troops into the Middle East. They just announced today that we're sending more, including, I believe it might have been a carrier strike group, but we're talking about Army as well. They haven't given out numbers or exactly where they're deploying to, but remember, we don't have any troops in any active war zones.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure that was said last week or whatever. Anyway, right.
Not fact checked, by the way, either.
Not fact checked. Fact check false. I don't know how much worse this is going to get. I mean, the Israelis are kind of gearing up. If the Lebanese continue to push those cross-border rocket attacks as they have been, Israel is going to have no choice but to move in and kind of force that buffer zone back to allow their people to kind of move back into their homes. I mean, really, Israel has the potential to draw other countries in. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that multiple countries have attacked Israel. And without the support of the US, fully backing, we should be like, okay, cool. Like, what do you need? You need more munitions? Like, okay, you got it, man. Like, these are not, friends of the US, and we, instead of backing our allies, we haven't had their full back. Western nations haven't had their full back. So they're kind of, I don't want to say going it alone, but right, that emboldens adversaries to be like, well, you know what? Maybe if we jump in, the U.S. isn't gonna back them.
Yeah.
But after what they just did to Hezbollah, you fuck around, you're gonna find out. Like, Israel does not mess around.
They definitely don't mess around when it comes to taking care of their nation and their people and their security, But I'm curious. I'm curious, Will. I mean, a lot of people are throwing out the term World War III. World War III.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that when you hear that?
I think we're, when you look at the Middle East, do I think that that's the catalyst for it? No. However, when you start talking about what's in Ukraine and Russia, maybe, we have continued to we, the Brits, the German, right? Like NATO allies have basically started to take a lot of the leash off and allow the Ukrainians to use some of the munitions and weapons that we are providing to hit inside of Russia. Because they have to at this point, because we haven't fully backed them. We're just kind of, right, we're proxy war in this thing.
Yes.
And so the more that the Kremlin feels pressured, the more that they have the potential to retaliate in a manner that is not acceptable to Western nations, could draw NATO in, which means everybody's coming. And then you start talking about, okay, well, what does China do? Iran, North Korea.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's a lot of backers there, and we're talking nuclear armed countries. So, and then, and it's down there. China owns the ocean. We can take a look at a little clip from that, because that has the potential too to go very bad, very fast. And we're not just talking what's going on in Taiwan. But let's take a look and right, this is between the Philippines and China.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Didn't they like bump ships and stuff? Like straight up flex.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look here. We'll watch a couple minutes of this, and that should give a good
conflict between the United States and China. The thinking in Washington goes it will most likely happen if China tries to invade Taiwan. But lately, tensions have escalated precariously in another part of the South China Sea, the waters off the western coast of the Philippines, where an international tribunal ruled the Philippines has exclusive economic rights. But China claims almost all of the South China Sea, one of the world's most vital waterways through which more than $3 trillion in goods flow each year. To assert its claims, China has been using tactics just short of war, leading to violent confrontations. The United States has a mutual defense treaty with the Philippines, which could mean American intervention. It's been called the most dangerous conflict no one is talking about. And last month, we saw for ourselves just how dangerous it can be.
The story will continue.
Thank you, 60 minutes.
Yeah, I'll kill it there. So what happened was a Chinese Navy vessel rammed a Filipino, I believe it was Coast Guard vessel.
Their Coast Guard, yeah.
Yep. And right, with a 60 minutes crew on board, right? The fucking, they didn't know that at the time. There was a 60 minutes crew on board that Coast Guard vessel when they rammed it. And so the U.S. has that defense treaty, right? That defense pact with the Philippines. So if anybody attacks the Philippines, right, we go to the Philippines aid, essentially is what that is. We don't have that same thing with Taiwan. We've kind of said we'll back them, but we haven't. But it's right. There's no official U.S. policy. It's very ambiguous. So, what happens if China takes Taiwan? Is it similar to the Ukraine situation? Nobody's really sure exactly what, the U.S. policy is there, because it's ambiguous for a reason. But when it comes to the Philippines, that's not true. And when you start talking about $3 trillion a year in goods, right, moving throughout that economic zone, that would cripple economies, including ours. If they locked that down, right, and obviously for its own personal reasons, right, China wants to do that, right? Like
isn't Taiwan like one of the leading manufacturers or producers of semiconductors?
Yes, and that's what like the CHIPS Act that we tried to we put it in place, but it really hasn't gone anywhere because of all of the additional fluff and bullshit and pork that was attached to that bill that required like these massive DEI hire like type of things that these companies were like, shit, like we can't do that. So these companies have like bought the land where they would start building these manufacturing facilities, or even bought some like old facilities that they were going to refurb, but haven't moved down on it because it's not necessarily the most beneficial to them. So we kind of shot ourselves in the fucking foot on that one, and spent billions in subsidies doing it. So that's cool. Thanks, current administration.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get back to you though. They got this.
I grew up a middle class kid. We're only like what 41 days. 41 days, man. Like
41 days.
41 at this point.
41 days. I mean, I just saw a post today. We're 100 days left in the year, 2024. Down to 100 days.
Yeah, 41 till election and still zero policy, but that's cool.
No, apparently, yeah, they're on the website. You can look them up. They're there.
Oh, the ones, the ambiguous ones that they copied off of the current administration. That's obviously, arguably one of the most unpopular. And that one. Those okay. That's
look,
right,
guys. We're just spitting facts here, all right, team. If you don't believe us, check it out yourself. Check it out yourself. Look it up. Use your own analysis. We're not telling you what to do. Just use your own analysis. That's it. That's the only thing we're going to tell you. Use your own analysis. All right. But damn, man, freaking, that's a lot of chaos going on in the world.
Yeah, that one, right? Like that has some potential to be.
It's funny because I feel like no one really touches it because I don't know, because it's China. You just don't really see it being pushed right now. It's not being put out there for the masses to know about, for their awareness at least.
Sure, yeah. It's interesting, especially considering the potential implications there. But China does a lot of saber rattling at times, so I don't know.
I mean, just in the past, I mean, South China Sea has always been a really stern little ground there for activity. A lot of flexing. There's a lot of flexing in that in South China Sea. A lot of flexing.
Yeah, it's just ramping up lately, and that's obviously caused a concern, especially considering I don't know who's running the fucking country at this point.
I am curious too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, who's in charge right now?
Yeah, so they held. I don't know if you heard this one. They held the first cabinet meeting, like of the full, the presidential cabinet, right? Like all of his cabinet appointees, right? The first full one that they've held in years. They just held one, and Jill Biden was whatever fucking reason in the room and spoke 3 times more than Joe Biden during his cabinet meeting.
So we can bring spouses now to like command and staff meetings and stuff like that now.
I'm sure she's read on, like I'm sure, right? Like she's got to be read on to all of the secrets at this point.
I'm sure.
Jesus.
Damn. What's going on, team? What is going on right now? I mean, seriously, if you guys aren't asking these questions, I would encourage you to start asking. What the hell is going on? I don't care what side you're on. Just what is going on right now?
Yeah. And I mean, don't even get me started on the shit that comes out of Trump's mouth either. Like, it's wild, man. I mean, this is my wife. My wife looked up. It goes way beyond that one. I believe it was like, what was his latest one? It was, if I lose, and 100% of the Jewish population doesn't vote for me, are they even Jewish? Like he said something to that effect. And It's just like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, when you start talking about like, 100% of a vote of anything, and then throw the Jews under the like, bro.
Like, maybe, I mean, he could be pulling out the same card. He's pulling out a playing card out of Biden's playbook. Hey, if you don't vote for me, you're not black.
Right? Like, I remember that one too.
I think we all remember that one. I saw that. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the both
Did
of
you
them. But
just say that?
I mean, the
media. The way I see it, and no one can fuss about that statement because no one fussed about that statement. So then you have what's called a selective standard. And you guys already know my thoughts on that. All right. Yeah. So it's a selective standard at that point, Yeah.
My wife literally looked at me the other day and was like, "This is it. Like, this is the best. This is it. This is the best we can do. Like this. I was like, yeah, sorry.
No, man. I mean, you're speaking from a realist,
and
an analytical perspective of just somebody who's just American, and just looking out for the betterment of your country. You provided service and time, and it's like, dude, we own our roles and responsibilities, and we expect our leaders to do the same. Like, I mean, that's how I see it, and it just kind of like when I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like, to me, it's like, dude, come on, man. We have checks and balances for a reason. We have all these, just in our community, you have all these creeds, I mean, there's got to be a presidential creed somewhere, like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. It's like, dude, it's like anybody. I mean, we can get Joe Schmo down the street. Hey, dude. Yeah, you know what? This organization wants to fund you. They're going to back you. You're going to be the guy. Oh, but I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter. You're going to be the guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Cool. They don't either.
And that's just what worries me, man. There's so much chaos going on in the world, and it's like, dude, is it so hard to find good leadership now? Where's let's just make leadership great again. How about that? Make leadership great again. That should be the slogan.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there'd have to be a lot of firings through all levels of government. It's a cesspool, man. It's corrupt.
Or make accountability great again.
Yeah, that would be great. Right.
I think that'd be the slogan. Make accountability great again. Just that's it right there. There it is. Gosh.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, you are right, dude. Trump himself, bro, when he posted that tweet about Taylor Swift, I was like, bro, okay.
Really? That's what you're fucking worried about, you moron?
Hey,
like,
grandpa,
that's it.
Someone put grandpa to bed. All right. It's time to go to bed.
God, dude, nobody gives a shit. Like,
nobody. Yeah. Gosh.
And here's the fight you don't want to pick. The super popular fucking famous person that just sent that out, right? And it's basically said, okay, I'm gonna back this human, and everybody should go register to vote. And there's like an uptick of like 800,000% in voter registrations for the next 24 hours. Like, hey man, maybe we don't talk shit about that. Like, just let that
chill,
one go.
Dude.
Like, chill, bro. Like, you're not helping yourself. Not helping.
Gosh. It's not. Oh man, stop taking everything so personal. If I was on his staff, I'd be like, dude, chill and stop taking everything so personal. Just play your game. Play your game.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's
put the cell phone down. We got this. Jamie, take care of his cell phone now.
Dude, I mean, he's hanging out with these fucking crazy people like Laura Loomer, and I mean, like, it's batshit, dude. And then you've got the other, right? Like, what you're getting with him, right? Like, you're getting Orange Man bad, mean tweets, policy wise, like significantly more popular policy than anything that the Dems are doing right now. And then with the other side, right, you've got this like vacuous blank slate human who has flip-flopped on literally every policy position, just went on Oprah and was like, "Oh yeah, I own a gun, and somebody breaks into my house, I'll shoot their ass." Like, what? Like she said that. Did you not see that?
Yeah, she did. She did.
She said that shit. Like,
she did.
I was like, what the fuck? And then you got the media that's just like 100% positive coverage of her. Don't ask a single realistic question.
Yep.
And they're starting to say some of the quiet shit out loud, man. So, it was Stephanie Rule, who's MSNBC, right? So obviously a left-leaning media organization, but you're still talking mainstream media, right? Like you would expect the media to media and actual do journalism, like straight said the quiet part out loud on a recent episode of Bill Maher. So it was her, Stephanie Rule, and Brett Stevens. So Brett's like probably a independent centrist, leans right, and he was like, hey, like, look, I don't like Trump, I won't vote for him, but he goes, I don't, you motherfucker.
That's what he said. You don't like Trump?
That's not what he said. No,
that's what he said.
That's not what he said. That ticker, you motherfucker.
No, that's Jamie. I'm not in charge of ticker.
Jamie's
running it. So
son of a bitch. Fucking slap. See, this is why
okay, no one reads it. We're gonna find out if anybody reads it.
Hey, I will not give you 100. You know what? You comment, smile down below. I will give you 100 Comfort and Chaos bucks to spend at the Comfort and Chaos store.
Hey,
on Comfort Chaos stickers and swag.
Inflation rate right now, that's actually a good deal, team.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's a great
Put
deal.
it toward a fancy flag that he has back there.
Yeah, there you go. So Brett Stevens basically says, "Hey, man, like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know what I'm getting with her. Like, she refuses to give a single policy point." And I have no idea. And so this Stephanie Rule, right? Like, again, MSNBC anchor, a journalist, right? She says Kamala Harris is not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know about her in 2024, and unlike 2016, but the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do and who he is and the kind of threat he is to democracy. And if you watch that episode, right, what she's, I mean, just straight up saying is like, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what it's, you cannot vote for him. It doesn't matter if we were running fucking Osama bin Laden, basically, is what she's saying. Like, you can't vote. Now, she did not say that. Let me put that out there. She didn't say that specifically, but that was the implication. Hey, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's up against. It doesn't matter what her policy positions are. It doesn't matter what she's going to do for the country. It doesn't matter if she's going to tank the country. It doesn't matter. You can't vote this other human in. Full stop. And that's a journalist. And even Bill Maher, Bill Maher even like fact checked her a couple times on. She's trying to bring up 2025 shit again. Like, these are things that have like repeatedly been fucking checked. Like, that, hey, like, has nothing to do with him, right? Like, that's a Heritage Foundation thing. Like, he's disavowed it 8 billion times. Like, and said, look, like, that's not my policy. But when you look at Trump's policy positions generally, he's center. He's probably more left-leaning than the majority of the Republican Party. Like, he's center right, where they're even further right. So when you look at his actual like hardline policy positions, he's not like far right. Now, his personality is a whole different fucking story.
I mean, that's in its class of its own. I mean,
yeah, that's a way to put it.
I mean, you can't compare it to a party or anything, because he's just not a politician. He's just a crazy dude who likes to tweet things.
yeah. I mean, it's wild, man. It's wild.
It is getting wild out there, man. And
what do you think? What do you think about, like, where are you seeing the election right now? I see it as kind of absolute toss up. I think if you pay attention to a lot of the MSM stuff, the mainstream media, it's really, they try to paint it as like Harris absolutely running away with this thing. But when you look at the polls and where things are sitting and you start to kind of dive in deeper, I think it's an absolute 50-50 shot at this point.
I agree with you. It is 50-50, but I will tell you this. If she does win, all right, and if she is now going to be my new commander in chief, it's going to be solely based on the power of the media. This is going to be a test of just how powerful the media is. Like, honestly, this election is going to come down to the media. Like, I think so. And that's just my opinion.
Sure.
My personal opinion. And I think it's going to be a soul test because obviously there's so much when you just look at the facts and you look at the process and the way the system is designed and the checks and balances and the way the whole selecting of the candidate, the delegates, like the whole process, you're going to see that a lot of that is just, it's like there's been waivers for everything, but it's all reinforced and backed by the media, everything from the debates to the coverage to everything. I think solely this election is going to show just how much power the media has, honestly.
Yeah. And this is a candidate, right, who has won 0 primary votes. 0.
No, exactly. 0. And that it makes 0. I mean, we're literally going, go back
in 2 separate elections. Sorry, 2 separate.
Yeah. Go back a year ago and you're going to see that she was like the most unpopular vice president in all of history. I mean, they were hiding her. She was nowhere to be found for like 3 years.
And now has lied for 3 years to the American people about
and these are just
dudes sitting next to her.
Like, these are just facts. You can look back and see what reporting the media was doing on her 2 years ago, a year ago. And now all of a sudden it's the media's shifted and now they are like the reinforcing where she doesn't even have to really, all she has to do is show up. And it's like, the media's got you. Don't worry. Just show up. Show up. Say your normal stuff. Show up. That's how I see it. So this election is just really going to show the power of the media, if it has an influence or not. And that's what it's really going to show, honestly, Yeah. So let's see what happens, man. Either way, we're going to figure out a way to find comfort in this chaos. So I know you and I will be good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm Mr. Optimistic. And then you got and we'll just touch on it real briefly because we're running long. You've got this Tren de Aragua.
Oh yeah,
that's
chaos in New York
right now.
Chaos in New York.
Gangs in New York, man. Like, it's crazy
Gangs
when you.
New York, by the way, awesome freaking movie. Awesome movie, by the way.
Yeah. Great movie. This sequel sucks.
There's a sequel?
Yeah, the one that's currently going on.
With
the Venezuelan gangs that have that are utilizing like migrant shelters as fronts for gang activity. And are pushing up into all these major cities, right? Down the street not down the street, but a little ways down the street from where I'm at, right? In Aurora, taking over apartment complexes.
Aurora's been popping off. I've been meaning to ask you about that, man. You leaving the house strapped or what's up?
Every day. But that's just normal for me. Right, showing up to these apartment complexes and shaking down residents for money. New York, they're taking over these migrant centers again, shaking people down for money, running prostitution rings. They just busted a gigantic prostitution ring there. Chicago, right? These big cities that were the sanctuary cities, right? And giving out all these benefits. So you've got all these illegal migrants, right? Some of whom are coming out of Venezuela, right? And are gang affiliated. We're not vetting. We're not checking them. You're giving them money. You're giving them housing. You're giving them all these government assistance benefits, right?
Oh,
Which is pushing the locals out. It's pushing the local homeless population, right? That now they can't get help because the shelters that they were using are now migrant shelters. You've got, new gangs popping up in these big cities, and then they're fighting with the local gangs and local populations that are starting to get sick of it. And so there was a really interesting little video here.
Let's see.
On this one. Let's see here.
A violent Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua, or TDA, has set up shop in New York City, using migrant shelters as a base for their operations. The New York Police Department says that the gang is responsible for thefts at high-end stores and ride-by robberies and scooters. They're also selling something called 2C, or pink cocaine, which is a drug that's becoming more and more prevalent. TDA has also been linked to the shooting of 2 NYPD police officers. And New York isn't the only city dealing with TDA. From Chicago to Denver to New York City, there have been dozens of arrests that have been linked to the group. A Department of Homeland Security official told the New York Times that federal officials were, quote, working on more than 100 investigations linked to the gang at one point this year. And, quote, officers nationwide have made more than 50 arrests related to the gang. In Aurora, Colorado, there's still ongoing debate as to whether the gang was responsible for taking over an apartment building in a now viral video. Gangbangers can be seen roaming the halls with guns and seemingly breaking into apartments. This video, by the way, went so viral that even Donald Trump took notice of it. Here's what he said at the debate.
What's happening? You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio, Aurora in Colorado. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that Xi and Biden led into our country.
Okay, so we're joined right now by somebody who used to be in a gang in Chicago, who went to prison for 20 years for murder, and he thinks that TDA is such a problem in the city that he fears an all-out turf war is about to break out between the TDA and local Southside gangs. Tyrone Muhammad is with us. He's now part of a group called Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change, Ex-Cons for Trump. Thank you so much for joining us. So why do you believe that a turf war might be imminent?
Oh, shit.
What you have to thanks for having me, Jesse. What you have to understand is that Chicago gang culture is not like what it used to be, where during the Clinton 1994 crime bill, you removed men who actually controlled the streets that was rather respectful to his neighbors as well, if that's not oxymoronic, right? Rather respectful, and also had a link to the communities that they lived or was involved with. Now you have a situation where we have now cliques, crews, and sets that don't follow certain guidelines and structures that were set by founding gang leaders and founding gang literature, right? So what happens is now you get these new gangs, these new terrorists. I call them terrorists because the very fact that you can allow people to cross our borders and potentially harm American citizens that go unchecked with no regulation and then placed in communities that's already disinvested and violated by the policies of this current administration in Chicago and big cities and throughout this country is a violation of democracy and really treason. And with that being said, now these young men don't live by those same codes. And these guys come in, they blend in with the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, and other Latin Americans, and they're integrating into their gang culture. And what they're doing is starting to set up in our various neighborhoods, taking over abandoned buildings, taking boards down, making those buildings their own, and then setting up outside of the shelters that they're in to pretty much as a way of tagging those blocks and communities to say, hey, this is our turf. And before long, if we don't get in front of this, there will be a powder keg of bloodshed. Because there's already a disconnect in terms of culture and language.
So
damn.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's a real deal right there. That's a real deal. But
that's a dude who sees it like for what it is going on inside of those neighborhoods and communities, and that has the connections to be able to speak right to both sides, and is talking to folks in Chicago, and it's becoming a problem, right? And then you look at what the potential is for those things to turn very bad very quickly. And again, it's failed policy by the current administration. And when you ask, hey, how are you going to fix this? Hopes, dreams, aspirations. Grew up a middle class kid, man. Like, that's what you get.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's like all the ones who are making decisions, it's like they're so out of tune as to like what's going on, boots on ground. You know, like it's easy to make decisions when you're got a security detail, you're in the comforts of your high and mighty suburban homes, you're away from it all, but yet the decisions you're making are affecting the individuals who are running those mom and pop shops, who are living in those apartment buildings, you know, who are working the 9 to 5s, you know, with the kids in the homes, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know, like to me, like that upsets me when I see that, because it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know, like is this not a big deal to you? Like, how about you just come out and say that it's just not a big deal to you? It's not on your priority list. Like, at least say that. Own it. You know?
Yeah, and I want to clarify, right? Like, it's not just the current federal administration, right? When you talk about Chicago, New York, LA, right? Like the big cities, Denver, right? Where they said, we're a sanctuary city, right? Yeah, you come here, right? We got you. You can come here illegally. Don't worry about it. Like, we're not going to cooperate with ICE. We're not going to follow the current immigration laws. We're not going to do any of that. Like, we're going to help you out. And that got out. And now all those cities are border cities, and they're spending millions heading towards billions on these programs, right? Well, there are American citizens, right, that are out on the streets that could use that assistance, that we're not taking care of our own first, right? And vetting and allowing in good people, right? Like, I'm not anti-migration, right? I want we're a country founded on immigrants.
That's true.
Right? We want the best of the best. We want to invite that into our communities, into our neighborhoods. We want to invite people that are right to give them a shot, right? Not just, oh, you've got to have your doctorate. Like, hey man, like, it takes all kinds, but you got to vet these people. You got to check them out. You got to make sure, hey, like, are you able to integrate into our society? And we can't just flood the streets and then go, oh my God, like, why is this chaos happening? I don't know. Come on, man.
I mean, how do they clean that up? You know,
I mean, Trump has said, hey man, like, I'm gonna lead the largest
deportation. I remember that.
Deportation push of all time. Like, I'm gonna fucking get rid of a whole bunch of people. I don't know what that looks like. That's a very scary thing to me.
I know
potentially has the chance of trampling on people's civil rights. Especially like actual citizens. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good either way.
I guess it just falls in line where it's like, I mean, you know what it's like, you know, being in the military, the whole idea of mass punishment, you know, where it just takes a small group or one individual to just mess it up for everybody, you know? And that honestly, that to me, that's what it looks like. You're looking at, hey, there was a good opportunity here, but low in doubt, you get a bunch of bad individuals who just mess it up for everybody.
You got to stop. You've got to stop the flow. And then, like, you have to, right? You got to fix the system, right? There has to be, you know, I'm a big fan of like the Dreamers Act, things like that, right? To welcome those folks that, hey man, like, you've been here that long, you've worked a job, you've the community. You're not, you're not breaking a fucking law. You're right. Like, okay, let's figure out a path, right? Like, you're gonna
Let's get you established.
Let's figure out a path, right? Like, whatever that is to citizenship. Like, we've got to do something like that. On the flip side, oh, you're an asshole. Like, bye, Felicia. You're gone. Like, we're not fucking around with that.
Yeah,
like,
man. You're busting in apartments with a gun. Yeah, sorry, dude. You got to go. You got to go.
You step out of line, you're gone. Like, no, man.
I
like,
agree.
you're just a drain on fucking society. You can't hold a job. You can't fucking work. You can't fucking, like, bye, Felicia. Like, no, man. Nope. Like, we got enough of that. Don't need no more. We don't need to import that.
Hell
we
yeah,
need to export that.
Export that. You heard it first from Will, guys. Quote, export that.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't get me into trouble.
Hey, Will. So next topic, man. What do you know about this Mark Robinson guy?
Oh, what an idiot.
What do you know about Mark Robinson?
So what I'm tracking is, right, he's the deputy governor of North Carolina. And a Trump-backed candidate who apparently likes to post really weird stuff to porn sites.
First of all, I didn't know you can post stuff on porn sites. Is that a thing? I didn't even know they.
I don't. That's not what I go there for.
You know, if you're posting on porn sites, like, you're deep in it. Like, you are deep in it. You know, at that point, which, if you're a politician, I mean, you would think someone in your staff's like, hey man, you might want to delete all this stuff,
like,
stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But all in doubt, Will, like, to me, this just goes to show that these are still human beings. It doesn't matter what role they have or what political position they're running for. They're still a man or still a woman, and that doesn't mean they're perfect, and I'm not justifying anything he's doing, but I'm just showing, like, this is a reality, guys. Like,
this is a perfect example of fuck this scumbag. Like,
I agree.
This is the right. Like, this is the best we got to run for office. Like, this is it.
Agree.
I
agree. And it goes to show, it's like, dude, what the hell, man? Like, seriously?
Such great hits as "I'm a black Nazi." Like, that's the shit.
Nobody. It's like, come on, guys, own your role, own the responsibilities, and just do the right thing. It's what I tell my soldiers. Literally,
he talks about, like, being a fucking peeping Tom in girls' showers. Like, what the fuck? Like,
but here's the thing. Will, is like, there's so many out there that are just like him. It's just, I feel like he is just on the chopping block and everyone's just going after him right now. And I'm like, dude, there's so many out there that are just as, I mean, I'm my soapbox, but there's individuals, literally, you're seeing guys. Who was the one guy that was like, who was like wearing dresses and part of the cabinet, and then he got in trouble because he was at the airport stealing luggage?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just saying, he looks like somebody who might have some accounts created on some weird platforms too, but nobody's like looking into that, but I'm just saying, it's like, this is what you guys, this is the standard you guys have accepted. I mean, you're going to have drag queens read books to kids, Hey, how about let's open that up though. Okay. You want to do that? How about we get ex-cons, on parole, read books to kids, stock dudes, CEOs who got charged with fraud and all kinds, let them read books to kids too. Why are you just stopping there? Like, how come they can't read books to kids? What's to stop that? If you're going to accept the standard right there, okay, let's get strippers read books to kids. What's to stop that?
How about you don't let anybody read a book to my kid?
That's what I'm saying.
I got that. Like,
That's exactly what I mean. You get where I'm going, Will. You get where I'm going with this, and it's literally like, okay, here's the door. Here's the door. You opened it. Congratulations. This is what you got coming in. Like, does this surprise you? I mean, to me, I'm just not surprised. I guarantee there's more. There's going to be more. There's probably more politicians out there there's probably politicians right now who are deleting all their shit. They're probably like, oh shit, I'm deleting all my stuff right now. Like, hey, no more of this. No more of this. Because this is literally, there's no accountability. There's no more ownership. It's literally like, it's free reign. Do what you want. Hey, you want the job? Hey, come on. Hey, don't even worry. Don't even worry about it. Just keep doing your thing. You know, no one's gonna find out. You know,
everybody's down for a Diddy freak party. A Diddy freak off. Lots of baby oil, but like,
oh my gosh. Hey, Will, I noticed you took your Diddy poster down that you had back there.
I did. Yeah.
Ago. I noticed that.
Yeah, just like all those celebrities deleting their entire Twitter profiles.
Oh yeah. Hey, also the whole board of 23andMe resigned. All the board members of the company 23andMe resigned.
I don't know, man. Like
that's sketchy. I wonder why no one's looking into that, you know. But in case you guys don't know about this Mark Robinson guy, let's go ahead. I'll play a little video for you guys. You can check this out. You know,
North Carolina's Republican candidate for governor won't be in attendance at Trump's rally today in Wilmington. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is facing calls to drop out of the race and resign from his current office after CNN uncovered disturbing posts that Robinson allegedly made online.
Good job, CNN.
To place Robinson on the ballot.
At least Trump distanced himself from this psycho.
He could drag down other
he's smart.
candidates running in North Carolina.
I wouldn't go that far.
Nicole Killian has more.
Well, you know what I mean.
Could I just have 1 minute of your time, sir?
CBS News was the only camera present as Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson did not answer questions outside his North Carolina home Friday. It was his first appearance since reports surfaced about racist and sexually explicit comments that he allegedly made on a pornographic website over a decade ago.
These are not my words. This is simply tabloid trash being used as a distraction from the substantive issues.
The Republican, who is now running for governor, refused to bow out of the race
I want to know
and
what
is
website.
not expected to attend former President Donald Trump's rally today in the state.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay? Now.
Former President Trump endorsed Robinson earlier this year, but has largely remained silent about the controversy. A CNN investigation reportedly found a series of online posts from 2008 to 2012, appearing to be from Robinson, calling himself a black Nazi and expressing support for reinstating slavery. He also referred to himself as a perv and a peeper, recounting how he secretly watched women shower when he was a teenager.
I swear, I feel like we're on a damn. I feel like we're watching an episode of the Chappelle Show sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like the Chappelle Show got that. You remember that? What was that bit that he had?
The black white supremacist.
The black white supremacist.
Clayton
who was
the black white supremacist.
I swear, man. The more I watch what's going on in the world right now, I'm like, man, Chappelle, he got it right.
Oh yeah,
he made fun of all this many years ago. You know?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude. Oh, gosh, Will, help me find comfort in this chaos. We got to do that. Hey, speaking of which, I know you got a clip. We'll end it. We'll end it with a clip. You got a clip of Bill Maher, your idol. You know, your idol. What?
Yeah.
Fill us in. Fill us in. Jamie, what's up with this ticker, dude? You don't know? You don't know, Jamie? Seriously. Yeah, what is the website? Okay, I get it. The team gets it.
We want to know what website.
Yeah, CNN, message us, let us know. What's the website? I want to know.
Yeah, so this clip, right? Like, leave it with this, right?
We'll leave
I
it
think
with this.
I'm not a Bill Maher runs pretty far to the left. I definitely like his insight. And this was kind of one of the ways he closed out his show.
And finally, new rule. Someone has to tell me how Americans can keep becoming more alike, but also hate each other more than ever. I was made to think of this recently when it came to my attention that vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance fucks his couch. Oh, I'm sure you heard it too. It was everywhere. One guy wrote it on Twitter, and immediately half the country was all in. Our hate for each other is so intense. We all just immediately believe anything bad about the other side. I mean, don't get me started on they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. They're coming for the pets.
Look
They're
at
eating
that,
the dogs.
That's a good face right
Now,
okay, Bill.
Look, I think J.D. Vance is kind of a giant asshole. Still would love to get you on the show, J.D.
Okay, Bill.
But he doesn't fuck the couch. It's not in his book, as the rumor suggested. What goes on between a man and upholstery is none of my business, but in this case, it just didn't happen. But what is in that book is a much more interesting passage where Vance recalls how at age 8 he thought he might be gay. This really resonated with me because when I was 8, puberty was still a few years off, so I hated girls at 8. They had cooties, and I only wanted to be with boys. Well, that does sound gay. So the 8-year-old Vance goes to his grandmother, who he calls Mama, and who has 19 fucking guns stashed around the house in case Sherman's army comes back, I guess. And he asks her if she, a woman born in Kentucky in 1933, thinks he's gay. And she says, JD, do you want to suck dicks? And he says, no, Mama. And she says, then you're not gay. And even if you did want to suck dicks, that would be okay. God would still love you. But stay away from my makeup.
Give me another whiskey, another Buffalo Trace.
I made that last one up. Get rid of that one. I made it. But other than that, I feel like this is a teachable moment. Maybe the Hicks are not as hicky as they used to be. I know it's a cliche that the coastal folks just fly over the flyover states, but they mostly do. So they're stuck in a time warp where, I don't know, farmers look like this. But farmers use iPads now. They believe in climate change. They went to college and majored in ag. It's a science to grow food. Could you do it? Are there still prejudiced people in small towns in the former Confederacy? Of course. Some of those places are as bad as Boston. Have you ever been? But Kansas last year voted strongly for abortion rights, and they have a woman governor, whereas California is a state that has never had a woman governor. America's complicated. We talk about red and blue states, but every state is purple. 47% of Texans voted Democrat in 2020. Yeah, because Texas is a giant state full of people with different ethnicities, philosophies, cultures, and forms of shit-kicking.
Oh, man, dude.
Leave it there.
Shout out Bill Maher. But I mean, he's absolutely right. You know, we are definitely in a time where it's like that hate emotion just kind of takes people over, you know, and it just is like it gets everybody just riled up, you know. So we're so emotionally driven right now that it's just we ignore common sense, we ignore personal analytics, we ignore everything else, and we're so just like, oh, look at that bumper sticker. Ooh, that is the Bible right there. Let's go. Let me post that. Let me repost it. This is it. This is it. I'm going to go argue with my family and my friends about this now because it's fact. And it's like, no, man, why are we so in a hurry to hate everybody? You know, in the end, we're all on the same team, you know? I don't know, Will. That's just my 2 cents, So I kind of see what Bill's saying there, And shout out Bill for pointing that out. Like you said, he's a left leaning guy, and nothing wrong with that. But I appreciate the fact that he's actually applying some like common sense there. Like, dude, and he puts humor into it. I mean, we got to laugh at each other. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a big fan of humor, and sometimes you do got to just take a step back and just laugh at the whole thing, All right. That's just my 2 cents, team. All right.
Yeah, man. Like, it's a wild world out there. We should be able to have discussions. And I think really that's what he's kind of getting at, right? We should be able to talk to each other. And just because we have a difference of opinion, right? Like, you're still my brother or sister. I don't hate you.
Exactly.
And we should be able to discuss it and see where the common ground is and then move forward. And that's what I wish our political establishment would do. But it fucking won't. So fire them and elect, right? Use your vote and elect somebody that fucking will, please.
I like this makes me think of there's a Mike Tyson video. He did an interview on a radio show, a very popular radio show. And one of those like satellite serious radio shows, he did an interview and they asked him, hey man, so who are you voting for? And he straight up said, I'm voting for Trump. And they're like, yeah, but what about this? He said, no, I'm voting for Trump. What are you going to do about it? You going to beat me up? You going to punch me? Like, what are you going to do? You going to beat me up because I'm voting for Trump? We can disagree. Like, that's the point. He was just trying to say, I'm not going to ruin this interview. We're still going to have a conversation, but we don't have to always have the same opinion, and I love that point of view that he made, and I think that's a good example for us to just live by because true, guys, look at Will. How many times does he stop me and tell me like, dude, that's retarded? He doesn't say that, but he says in his comment, I pick up on it and I just know we don't. Yeah, he does say it. He does. You guys don't see it. He texts this to me like, dude, that was stupid. Why'd you just say that?
I haven't told you that since I was your sergeant major.
Shh, they don't know that. They don't know that. Either way, guys, in the end, team, I'm just going to tell, we'll end it with this but guys, don't let the bumper stickers trigger your emotions and then don't let those emotions dictate your decisions. Use some analytics, use some common sense, and don't believe everything. We always say this, but it's getting to crunch time. And so you're going to start to see everything coming out of the woodline right now. Everything's coming out, from left, from right, about this, from about that. And it's like, dude, you know what? It's all designed to get you triggered. I feel like literally everything is just coming out to trigger you and motivate your decision, by this trigger. Just don't fall for a team. You guys are all smarter than that. You guys got your own brains, you got your own minds, you got your own lives. Focus on that and let that be your motivating factor for your decision making going ahead. That's my 2 cents. Will, what do you got?
As Colonel Sanders said, I'm too drunk to eat this chicken.
That's true. And now I'm craving some fried chicken. All right, guys. Hey, thank you guys so much. I hope this was a good episode for you guys. As you know, we're this is what we do, team. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. In the end, team, there's always ways to find comfort in this chaos. We're going to be surrounded by it, and it's going to come in. It's constant at this point. So be ready, But hey, we're here to get you through it. All right. If Will and I can get through it, so can you guys. Will, give us a motivating Sergeant Major speech right now. Picture us, Will, right now. We're in formation, and you're about to give us a motivating speech right now to find comfort in some chaos that we're about to endure.
Okay.
I know you got something. Will. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know you got something.
Okay, you ready? It's the most motivating speech I could ever give.
And we're ending it with this, team. So don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and enjoy this message from former Command Sergeant Major Will.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Zonk.